What's up, everyone? We are live for another episode of Spin from the Reel. Once again, I am Matt. Joining me, as always, is the personality himself, Watt Boy Summer, Chris Anthony Lopez, and the one and the only Shug.
What's going on?
Two things before we properly start the show. First off, what's going on, everybody? I mean, it's another great Monday. It's a great day out here in Oklahoma. A crisp 75 degrees before it starts snowing on Wednesday. But Shug, happy birthday, Shug.
Yeah,
it's Shug's birthday. Shug Night,
Shug
it's Shug Knight's birthday. So happy birthday, Shug. Happy birthday to you.
I was just saying it's not my
birthday. Happy birthday. It's Shug's birthday. Marion Shug Knight. I forget how old he turns today, but Shug, happy birthday by proxy. I mean, at some point during the show, I'll go get an adult beverage to celebrate the magnificent day that is the day of Shug Night. Because, I mean, happy birthday, Shug. Make sure, everybody, if you're watching right now, thank you so much. And leave a happy birthday to Shug in the chat. Wherever he is, I bet he'll appreciate it nonetheless.
You guys are crazy.
No, what? I mean, both Shugs have done some crazy shit in their lives. And
that's for sure.
That's your one, Chris. That's your one. Remember, we're trying to cut back on the
GD. That's my one. It's not like Wrestle Reel though. Wrestle Reel, we save that's our one, and then we do 5 more. Yeah, so I'll try to keep it. I'll try my. I forgot that was a thing, but it is a Watt Boy Summer. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like our video. Hang out in the chat afterwards. Leave a comment if you're watching after the live show. We appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us. This is a lot of fun for us to do on Mondays. But, as much as I would love to shoot the stuff with you guys, let's bring on our guest.
Winston. I'm about to just call you Winston because he's the one who's like, I can't swear on the IG show, and then just swears nonstop.
Yo, I'm sorry. That's my bad. But we do have a guest joining us. Corey Cameron in the chat. Wait, Shug's birthday isn't 3-2. No, man, look, Shug's. It is Shug Knight's birthday. Just know that.
Not Richard Shug Knight Eric. It's Shug Knight's birthday.
Yes, I mean you dropped two of my man's names that on some real stuff. But we do have a guest.
Facebook, so
we have it. Not everyone has my man on Facebook. We do have a guest though. This first guest, he played in the Patreon match last week, so we didn't get to talk too much about it. There's lots of anticipation behind this man. Not only is he a major in the schmoedown, he's a major in real life. Not only is he serving our country, doing some spectacular things, he's serving up bangers in the schmoedown. One of the best matches we've seen all year. Last week I said that the match with who the hell was it? It was Whiteley and what's his nuts? Who Whiteley play? Shug? It was Whiteley and
Hoey.
Hoey. Yeah, it was Whiteley and Hoey. I said that match was. Yes, I said that match was a banger, and that was the best Star Wars match outside of Dimilanta Damon. You said to me, "Don't hold your breath, Chris, because his Patreon match is also a banger." And then I watched that Patreon match, and boy, you were right. So, after much anticipation, much hype, it is the major of the movie trivia schmoedown, the 1 and 0, Thomas Harper. Thomas, bro, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No doubt about it, dude. Look, first
sure.
of all, Thomas, I mean, congratulations on the W. Well fought victory. Perfect. He didn't admit, I don't know what else we expected. My man didn't miss a question. he went to multiple choice. I don't want people giving my man any flack. He went to multiple choice once, but you got to be sure. That's strategic. A man's out here playing a strategic game. He's a vet already. He's played one match. But Thomas, what was your thought process going into the match with Wit? Because Wit, this vet, has been around the schmoedown. People are really high on him, not only as a competitor, but as a person as well. This lovable personality. And you're coming in here, the major. You're coming in here, the Dragon Con guy. You're coming in here facing off against Wit.
Right.
And what was your thought process going into the match against Adam?
My thought process was it was going to be a nail biter, and anybody that was talking about Wit as this, like a jobber or something like that, just hadn't seen him perform. I get it that he was coming in with a pair of losses, but they weren't rollovers. They weren't, like another match that we saw this week where you just get clobbered. He clearly knows Star Wars. I mean, his first match, I think he admitted himself that he just walked in there without any prep off the street, and he did as well as he did. I mean, you don't pull Dalte Dauphine off the top of your brain if you don't know Star Wars like he did in that match. So the Adam Witt that we have this year is in the dungeon. He was operating as a bench coach, prepping Molly. He was knee deep in their whole system. And then he takes a match, and I fully expected him to come in loaded for bear, and that's exactly what happened. Part of me wishes that it had been, like a little bit different, just because my stress level and my blood pressure were a little high during the match. But that's what I thrive on. I like, I probably seem stone faced during the match, but like I really enjoy that environment. I would much rather have just a clobber fest like that than one person run away with it. I think that's more fun for me as I'm playing, and it's more entertaining to watch.
See, you're so humble, Thomas. You're so humble. You wanted a close match, and we're over here like, kill him, get him. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, no, but I there's a part of me that and this doesn't have to do anything with Witt, but you've seen repeatedly this season, my own faction mate, Saul, you saw it in his match where people are like, well, is Saul really that good, or did he just catch a break with this matchup? And I'm like, no, Saul played really, really damn well. Mm-hmm. And that's my one for the show. But I didn't want that. That frustrated Saul, and he respected the heck out of his competitor or his opponent, but I didn't want anybody coming out of this match saying, well, Harper got put up on a tee. He didn't have a battle like some of these other Star Wars players had. And, that narrative got blown out of the water really quickly, which I was happy for.
Oh, yeah, for sure that narrative got blown up because first off, let's be honest, you had to answer your 5-pointer to win the match. So that narrative is automatically blown out of the water, and anybody that thinks otherwise, you're just full of it. Now, I was one that said, hey, I said it. I was like, what did Adam Witt do to Christian that he has to play Thomas Harper? Because, look, I'll be honest with you. Since the day that I got to talk to you, I said you were one of the hype rookies that I was looking forward to, and I thought, and I said it, I believed you were going to be playing for the Star Wars Championship at some point this year. That was my just personal observation. Watching that match, I feel pretty damn good about it because, look, you could say all you want that maybe you were put up on the tee, maybe you were hyped up, but you went perfect. You didn't even miss a question. You checked down the multiple choice. And not only that, you're a rookie. You played in a different kind of trivia match before, and you look better than half the people that played schmoedown that's been playing for years. You knew how to do your JTEs. You knew how to calm yourself down. And I was telling somebody else, some of the stuff that you were just doing, I think out of just natural, where you would write stuff down and then say your answer. That is high level trivia right there because you're thinking about it. You're trying to make sure you have the right answer. You took your time. I mean, the Boba Fett question, I think you even took a JTE, but yet you had the answer written down. So I just want to commend you on being so prepared and talk about maybe was that the den that helped you? Because I do know some behind the scenes that there was people really working with you on schmoedown tactics and game planning per se.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that everybody I think on any interview is going to say they're not going to say anything but like, oh, my faction is great and we work really well together. Like that, what are you going to say? Like my faction stinks and I'm all alone.
I mean, you can.
Nobody's
about Saul,
you can totally say that.
No, I mean, but when I say that my faction mates and the way the system works has been what sold me on the schmoedown, I genuinely mean that. We came in a bunch of, there were a few people that had played together last year, but you hear folks like Preston talk about just the dynamics inside the faction, and it just was different. And this year I come into a situation where I'm used to lone wolf preparation and lone wolf competition. And the prospect of prepping with people and whatnot, I was like, I don't know how that's going to work. But if it all blows up, if that all falls apart, at least I'm used to the solo thing. And that's been just completely turned on its head, because there are folks within the faction, Saul included, that will drop everything to help you study. I mean, less than 12 hours notice, like an hour's notice. Hey, can anybody jump on? Somebody will be there. I will put Peggy up on a pedestal. She will put everything aside in her life at a moment, if she can, to come look up questions and ask them to you for however long she can. And that's a teammate. There's no better way to put it. That's somebody that's not just dedicated to their own success, but they're dedicated and invested in the faction. And I just, for all the interview comments, I just don't think that's she's there. She's there at all of my interviews, which is just emblematic of
Isn't
what
Peggy
she does.
the best?
She's amazing. And I won't reveal, but there were at least one or two questions that she asked me in prep that ended up in the match. So it's a credit to her. But that's the faction, right? And no disrespect to other factions that are out there, but there's some people out there that are, peddling goods that aren't legit as far as how stuff's going on behind the scenes. But we don't have to deal with that. So I'm just thankful for that.
And that's how, the Den, they've been, everybody involved, like you, Peggy, Saul, even Preston, there's been, Jay or Goddard, there are a lot of folks within the Den that just praising what you guys have been doing. And, I think, you and the Exchange, y'all had the most question marks going into the season, and both of you guys are proving a lot of people wrong. And that is a testament to all of you guys. But, to focus on you for a second, you were... I don't remember the last time a schmoedown rookie had this much anticipation and still blew people away. And blew people away because of
he went perfect. He met, if not surpassed, all of the hype people put on him. Most people don't go completely perfect in their debut match. Didn't miss a single question.
Right.
I don't know if that's happened in the. I mean, I'm not trying to plug myself, but I don't know if that's happened in this division. I don't think anybody's gone
in this division.
In the Star Wars division.
In the Star Wars division, Demolanta and Scrimshaw.
No, I don't think they went perfect in their
debuts.
Granted, that was a 5.
Debuts? No. Yeah. Debuts. I don't think anybody. No, I don't think anybody. That's
my caveat.
I don't even think it's singles or IG or. Yeah,
it is what at the end of the day, whether you win by a point or 20, it's all the same to me. But I was glad that there was payoff there, because I worked hard, as I do for Dragon Con every year, and what you don't want is to do all that and then have all the wheels fall off. And fortunately, my brain was working right, no real slip ups, and to have that kind of stat, that's nice. But at the end of the day, if I don't win another, it'll be kind of meaningless. You go
right, and you just mentioned the Dragon Con stuff. So for you and for Marie and for Zach, you guys, you have your one match, and then you're all right, cool, see y'all next year. But
yeah, exactly.
But now it's okay, Thomas, we'll see you at the tournament. That's something that it had to be not a hard adjustment, but something new and refreshing for you. And from what you're making it sound like, it's a welcome change. And you have such a great support system backing you that it shows with your performance. Granted, a lot of people expect you to do really well. And there are people should be one of them to say, hey, this guy's going to be the jam. He's going to be the top of the creme de la creme of the Star Wars division. And you and Wit, and I don't want to knock Wit, because he also
did phenomenally.
An incredible game.
Every bit of credit.
All it took was 2 questions in the first round, and that game's a lot tighter. And maybe, who knows? Wit may overtake you, Thomas, and you guys go to sudden death, and we have another Star Wars sudden death match. And I don't know if the world's ready for one of those. I think the one we had was enough.
My heart's not ready for that.
Right. So Adam Witt also had himself one hell of a game, but you and what everyone's been doing in Star Wars division, Goal Leader, Lacey Gilleran, also another one of your faction mates, y'all having these great performances, these great showings, and it's damn, Star Wars is where the party's at. Y'all are really bringing it on a weekly basis. And I don't think we have a Star Wars match this week, But I think after the one you and Adam had, I think we're cool for a little bit. We can,
like calm down a little bit.
Yeah, these high scoring.
We got that tournament. We got that tournament coming.
That's coming up.
And
look at once again, Shug said, "Who the hell did Adam Witt piss off when he saw the?"
He leans into it though. There's something about being the guy that is not afraid to take on anybody, and that was one of the most. I mean, if anything was intimidating coming into the match, it's that Witt is one of those players, sort of like a Demolanta, sort of like an Ace. They're not, and I put other people in that category as well, but they're not intimidated by anybody. There's nothing that I could have done going into that match. Not that I'm, doing any kind of like cheap tactics, but there's nothing that I could do that was going to phase him at all, that was going to psych him out. The only person that could psych out Adam Witt is Adam Witt. And that's a powerful mindset to have going in. And you saw it throughout the match. He didn't give a flip what I was doing in the match. He was just like, okay, you got those questions right. It's time for me to do mine. And, that going up and against an opponent like that is a lot different than somebody that you're like, okay, I know what you think of me and I'm going to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure.
We actually have a question for you in the chat, and that's from Corey Cameron. There was a lot of military language / jargon used in the match. Being in the military, what is it like to play the character of the Major?
You can send questions.
Yeah,
I'll answer that.
Anyone in the chat can send questions if they would like.
I'm in charge here.
he is the Major. I mean, what we're gonna do is say no to Thomas? Like, well, right. No, Thomas, you cannot answer the fan question.
It's funny because I think I'm one of a very small handful of competitors that are playing characters that line up with what they do in life. And that's a good thing. That's sort of like getting cast to play yourself in a show or a movie, right? Or somebody that's basically like you. But it's weird because it's not quite what I'm like in military, like in uniform all the time. Because if it's just if you guys are part of my unit and we're working together on a daily basis, I'm much more the sort of like mentor type, play the officer role, set the example, first in, last out, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, I'm not sitting there trying to stare daggers into anybody. The closest and what I drew on was really my time as a prosecutor. And so I prosecuted when I was on active duty for an armored combat brigade. And so that's like tanks and Bradleys, like a war fighting unit, and made up of infantrymen and tankers and armored crewmen, the whole 9 yards. And the moniker that I had going into my trials and into the couple dozen jury trials that I did was, you've got to have an air about you that you're in charge of stuff, that you know things better than anybody in that courtroom, and that you run this place. Because the unique thing about the military and how trials are done there, civilian world, you've got a jury, you get an envelope in the mail that says jury duty, you come on down. It doesn't matter what your background is. In the military, it's actual senior ranking folks that are on the jury. It's not just people off the street. So you look in the jury box and it's like, somebody's got a Purple Heart, somebody's got a Bronze Star with Valor. Like, these are people that have seen and done more than I'll ever do. And they have opinions, and they're going to judge you, the moment that you step in front of them. And the moment that you show weakness, the moment that you show slippage, that you don't know what you're talking about, they're not going to pay attention to you anymore. You're just, a guy standing there just yapping. And so I drew on that sort of mentality going into it. And, I like Kate and the dynamic that she brought, because she took what was just stone-faced, like probably a little boring me, and added some, humor to it, which was good.
Well, I got to disagree with you, because the first word that when you came on camera was "Hello, Colonel Carrots," which absolutely blew everybody.
I even said that, to be honest. That went right out of my brain.
So that was first off, congratulations.
You won me over with that.
The community absolutely loves you for that one. But
not one person does not love me.
But I do.
Oh no,
I
he
have
loves
talked.
you. He loves you. Let's be honest.
I have talked to people, and they did say that the character was very realistic, like because how you answered and how you picked your numbers, things like that. And it's good to hear, kind of get a background on how you went that direction. Are you going to work further with doing that kind of character work, or you're just going to kind of keep it even kill and not really try to experiment too much because it is your rookie season?
Yeah, I think we'll see. I've got a really good partner in Kate, and she's got just great ideas for it. And then I bring sort of the real life experience to it. I said before any of this, and I probably said it when I sat down with you guys before the draft, the presence that I wanted to bring was this like Undertaker style like force that when you sit down, you had better be wired tight. Otherwise, I'm going to take advantage. You miss a question in round 2, you better believe that on my whiteboard I've got it written down, ready to go to steal those points or that point. And that's sort of like inevitability, if you will, is what I like to bring. And that's whether I'm sitting there with no clue what the answer is, as somebody else is answering it or not. Like you're gonna believe and know that I know it, and I'm gonna get it if you don't. So hopefully I'll build on that. But I like the idea of having like an interplay with Kate. We like where I'm sort of like playing off her and I'm trying to please her as sort of the junior officer and do what she needs me to do. But
yeah, your back and forth was amazing. And when she popped on camera for the because now we've switched where we don't have the managers on camera at first. It's just the players. So when she pops on camera and you're like, hi, General. And I'm just like, wait, what? And I started laughing because it was so sincere and so like you weren't playing, like you were actually like calling, yeah, what's up, General? Like, what's going on? I was like, wow, this is actually pretty kind of good character work right here.
Yeah.
But going back to the match, you said Adam Witt, played. I mean, let's be honest, he played a really good game, and on any other day, he does probably beat any other Star Wars player.
Right.
What was your mindset as he does miss the first 2 questions in the first round, but then he goes stride for stride with you? What were you thinking in that moment?
Round 1 was almost irrelevant. Like it was a nice pat on the back. It was one of those when I got the perfect round and got the bonus, it was like, okay, you can do this. This is trivia at its core. You're just answering Star Wars questions. And Adam has that outlook on the entire game. And I really like tried to channel that. But round 2, I went first, and those are legit. I'll talk up Dragon Con all the time.
Yes,
that's correct.
That's an honor.
But those were legitimately tough questions. The from top to bottom. Don't let how quickly I answered some of them make you believe that they weren't that they were softballs or something like that. And Adam got the same level of questions. So he spun Rogue One, and I was ready. But the moment he opened his mouth after the first one, I was like, it's going to be the correct answer coming out of this. I'll be ready just in case. But I knew that whatever brain fart had happened in the first round was gone. And so it's just I just had this feeling that crept over me in round 2, like, get ready to answer your 5. It's going to go that way. So, and it really, as soon as that 5-pointer for him got asked, I was like, he's going to get this. It's a tough question. It's not easy. It's a legit 5-pointer, but he's going to get this. And, he took his time, he used his repeat and nailed it. And I was like, okay, well, time to go to work.
There you go.
I like how that it took like the 5-point questions. Like, all right, like not like, let's do this damn thing. Like, because I know like a lot of people this year, and like this year, I feel like when we look back at season 8, it's like, oh, like the 5-pointers, the questions, oh man. And PJ, right. I feel so bad for him. He has to defend himself in the Facebook group. It feels like every day with these questions.
Be nice to the writers.
Right. Seriously,
right.
Be nice to the writers.
It's not an easy job.
It's refreshing hearing that you said like his 5-pointer was difficult. And Jeff in the chat says, how tough are these questions compared to the Star Wars title match, which we've heard said, including by you, was fairly easy. And it's a great question to ask. So Thomas, just give us your general thoughts on the Milan to Damon match, because we haven't spoken since that match.
Yeah.
And that match is highly touted as may or may not be the best match ever for good reason. But I've heard through the grapevine, you weren't too at least So you were struggling with the questions, if I could say that.
No, I mean, look, like if I had a buck for every time a competitor has come on and talked about how well they've done in a watch along, I'd have, enough money for another helmet probably. But so take it for what you will. But like, I think the best person to speak on it was Molly, and Alex has talked a tiny bit about it, but overall, the questions set up, I think, just a phenomenal match. They weren't like, don't conflate easier questions for a Star Wars player with bad questions or with disappointing questions, because those are not equal things. And quite frankly, the task for PJ and his team in terms of writing is just like climbing Mount Everest for this year, because they've got to go deeper than ever. They've got more matches than ever to write for. And they've really got to prep sudden death. I mean, they've got to prep a number of questions that just far outstrips prior seasons. So they've got a big mountain to climb for every single match, and they deliver. And you have to take with a grain of salt, like what I say is easy or what Alex Damon or Dimolanta thinks are a little less challenging. There's still no joke questions. I mean, there's still tough. Dimolanta's 5-pointer jumps out at me. The one about Panema Terminal. That if you watch Force Awakens with the subtitles on, I don't even know if those words pop up when Rey says them. And he had the wherewithal to know it, and he took his time on it. I think he used a repeat, but that's a legit question. And that could have decided the match right then and there had he not been prepped and ready for it. And it rolled off his tongue like, he was talking, saying his own middle name or something like that. So, I think if you get a question here or there, the one that jumps out to me is like the odds for navigating an asteroid field. Like that's kind of in the minority as far as the overall match goes. I do think on balance, the questions, the 19 or so that I answered, and that Whit, I guess Whit had 18, were probably a little more on the difficulty scale, a little higher, but that's how the dice roll, right? It's just match to match, player to player. That's been my experience in Dragon Con. Like there, you've got 10 people in the finals, and you answer your question and that you struggle with, and then you get to hear 9 other questions get asked that like that. And that's the funny. The schmoedown is like an exact replica of that, except the next question is right there. You don't have any time to reflect. So that match was a heck of a match. I had a blast watching it. It was a heck of a performance by both of them. Dimolanta deserves the belt, and it's. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for the rematch. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That was emotional for me because I have talked to Dimolanta. Like getting to talk to you and getting to know you. Like if you're in a championship match and you got to answer your 5-pointer to win the championship, like I'll probably cry. I cried with Dimolanta because I talked to him, and I'm a father, he's a father. And he said, my thing is I want to hold the belt with my daughter and my wife up in the air when I win it. And so when he won, I lost it. And so it was one of the greatest matches, but your match was just equally amazing. And, nobody should, be down on Whit, because I think Whit did amazing. I think he's going to do, he's one of the stars of the schmoedown, even though his record's not good. He knows his stuff, and he shows up. And that's what I appreciate mostly is when someone shows up and plays and puts it all on the line. He's one of the ones that does it. But let's talk about the Star Wars tournament coming up, because like I said, because let's talk about it. You are, I said, one of the most hyped rookies, but there's another guy that is pretty hyped by his own, group of fans, and you guys are about to collide. Like you are about to have I think it's going to probably be one of the best matches ever. Yes, I cry. I'm an emotional guy. Thank you.
Saul hears that emotions are being talked about, and he swoops in to pounce.
Oh, he does. Anytime I say I cry, he comes in.
Jeff Altman says this match showed why Whit was the Star Wars player chosen to represent the dungeon in the tournament.
He earned that spot.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Leo Logan says, "What did you think of the challenge Kaiser made after your name was called?"
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that, so we'll talk about the tournament after. But let's talk about that.
I'll tell you, I owe Kaiser a beer whenever we go back live and we get to actually physically meet in person. He and I, it's no secret, we had talks before the draft. Obviously their position was a little bit different, but there's an alternate universe where I landed on the dungeon. Had things worked out differently. And so that was a challenge where like I didn't break a smile, but on the inside I was like, where are you pulling that from? Like there are not very many managers that have the depth of Star Wars knowledge to pull a rant, because that's a pistol that Boba Fett carried originally in the holiday special. And I don't even know if it's been recanonized. Boba Fett obviously carries a pistol, but he certainly doesn't like whip it out and use it during any of the movies. And so I had to just sort of internally shake my head and be like, that's a great pull. That's a great pull in that moment. That was all Kaiser doing that. And, I kind of sat back. I was intentionally quiet because I was confident in my answer. Like, I know it's the EE3 that he uses. That's what he fires at Luke on Cloud City. But I was just impressed that he could pull it out. And it's not like he just was like, it's a Sarkos blaster pistol. He was like, no, it's a Sarkos, and here's your model number, K11. So hats off to Kaiser for having the wherewithal, and hats off to Kate for in the middle of all of the and your winner and the start of the interview and stuff to look at the chat and have the sportsmanship to say, hey, there's a challenge on the board. Let's hold off. And so that's a sign of, a true respect for the league and for the game.
Yeah. Real quick, your faction mates are going at it with Jesse Switch in the chat. Saul says, keep it up, Shuggy, and I'll give you a chance to show everyone how you cry. And then Jesse says, Saul, we all know that beard is a glorified tear catcher, to which Peggy says, uh-oh, you don't want that smoke, Jesse. Saul says, I know you, rookie.
Oh, God.
Jesse says, true, I'm allergic to smoke.
See, look, the den's in the chat. I know the den just took over Spin from the Real today. Jesse just innocent.
I
come with the pride. You don't get the lion without the pride.
You're messing with the unit, and this is what happened. Yeah. Like this.
And Jesse was pointing out I had Lion King on in the background. I was like, well, of course.
Damn, Peggy!
Oh, come on, Peggy. Wait a minute.
Damn.
Okay.
That's full shill mode.
Yeah. Look. Okay. Wait a minute.
Thomas,
hold on. Don't talk about Kate that way. What the hell? Don't talk about my Kate like that. You crazy.
Look, I'll tell you. Look, the difference. This is, you rarely hear me call somebody out because it's just not my style. But Jesse, the difference between you and the people you're talking to is that two of them have W's by their name. So
okay.
That's let's get to that part of the alphabet first, and then we can worry about calling out folks with wins.
I think you shut Jesse up.
Okay, so
I love you, but
Star Wars is a great film franchise. Great, Star Wars has great stuff. But
God, it's still going.
So the Star Wars tournament.
Oh my God!
Shut up and watch the chat.
Oh my God, Kangaroo Moses, bro! Look,
I was referring to Finstock bull.
and
And then Corey Cameron has to add, damn.
Oh man!
So there's this tournament, right?
That little thing.
Woo, yeah, and you're facing off against. You're facing Jesus. Okay, we need to cool it. We need to calm down as a group, as a collective. Look, y'all, this is going off the rails real quick.
Oh my God!
Damn. I'm sorry, but that was too great to pass up, Chris. You gotta admit it.
Eric Whiteley is one hell of a Star Wars player. We saw that against John Hoey. And like what we were talking about, at least to start the show, the Star Wars division is just on fire this year, and the rookies are absolutely bringing it. Like you, Marie, and Zach are getting a lot of love because your background with DragonCon. But these folks like Eric Whiteley coming from Blind Wave, we didn't really know what he was capable of. John Hoey, who's not in the tournament, but he came from the Resistance podcast, and he obviously showed what he was capable of doing. But bottom right corner, you're facing off against Eric Whiteley, who, I mean, if he gets right, and if he gets maybe one question right, he probably bests Hoey, and you got two guys with W's facing off against each other in that part of the bracket. So, like, what were your thoughts on Eric Whiteley? At least, yeah, he may have lost, but another great showing from another Star Wars rookie.
His Star Wars knowledge is scary. You're talking about one question. You're talking about one letter that may have made the difference in the match. Right. One enunciation difference, and I think the call was right. I mean, I don't know what would have happened if that had been challenged, but that is the most razor thin you can get in terms of margin, because we've seen repeatedly across divisions, you never know what happens when the other person has to answer their 5. The pressure, the question itself, what category are you going to get? Is it going to throw you for a loop? You just don't know. Right. And so that was a sneeze away from being a Whiteley win, and he's walking into this 1-0. I almost wish he had one. Nothing against, like, I love Hoey to death, and he played his heart out in that match. But there's like a certain dread that comes with playing somebody that's coming off of a loss, and especially somebody like him. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that.
You're playing his faction the first match.
Yo,
I'll pick you back up off the ground.
I
will say, look, when we're talking about the Mercs, the other thing to remember with Whiteley is he's going to be hungry coming off this loss.
Right.
He's got a plethora of talent around him, not to mention the current belt holder, who is no doubt training him. If you think that they're not behind the scenes going at it as they both get ready for their respective matches, you're crazy. And then that's not to count folks like Jesse, who I'm sure are in on it. I've seen Jesse in a combine session before the draft. He knows his Star Wars stuff, so I know that he's in on it. I know Bibiani's certainly swinging the axe for these players. So he's got a crew behind him, and that's ignoring the entire fandom that he has.
Right.
Because these aren't folks that are just passively watching his content. These are folks that are sending him questions. They're helping out in this process, and that's a lot other than maybe the Damons. You don't have too many people with that sort of backing that help prep there.
Sorry, saw in the chat.
Jesse Cliff, I'm rooting for your job where Tom used the door.
Oh.
It is the season of war, so it's appropriate that a war would break out.
And trust me, Saul has no problem going after people. He went after Moses. I don't know if go back and look at Twitter. He went after Moses. He comes after me 24/7.
My man
goes after anybody.
Moses.
He's consistent.
Yeah, he's very consistent.
He's consistent.
But going back to this tournament, Thomas, what I am always about storyline. I love storyline. Looking at this tournament, not only do you have if you get past Whiteley, you then possibly have to face Ace, who you've shown a lot of respect to. Then there's a possibility that you're going to either play one of your Dragon Con mates or a gold leader. I know you're not looking far ahead, but when you saw the tournament bracket, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Murderers Row. It's just like it's no disrespect to last year's tournament, because I think it in many ways was the same way. But there's no easy path. You can't point to anybody on that bracket and say, well, you were set up with this pathway to get to the finals and win. I don't know what the 16-team tournament will look like, but this 8-team tournament is going to be a slugfest all the way down to the final match. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see multiple perfect games, multiple sudden death matches across the entire tournament. If the finals, whether I'm in it or not, don't end in sudden death, it's almost like a disappointment.
Right.
Just because of the level of competition that's here. And that's just where the division is right now. There's just that level of talent and that level of dedication to the game. Like, gone are the days where somebody just like is a casual fan of Star Wars, like I think I know a couple things, and they just roll in and play pretty well and get a win. That's long gone. So, but I like it. I mean, nobody's, whether you win or just do moderately well in this competition, like you can't look at that performance and be like, well, you really missed an opportunity, an easy opportunity that passed you by. It's just brutal. And my side of the bracket's no joke. You've got Sully up there who is going to be hungry to knock off Ace. Like, think about that narrative that's sitting there, especially after his incredible performance against Marie and coming like that close to knocking off the first of the Dragon Con players. And you've got Ace who, for whatever reason, I don't know why, and they can answer this themselves, but like, I don't know why his own faction thought that Laura Kelly was the better fit for them. And that's no disrespect to Laura. She's a phenomenal player, but that's sort of a statement. Forget what fans are saying and what other people think. Like, you talk about, disrespect and things like that. I would have to ask, like, why did you guys make a calculated decision to take her after everything that he did for you? And so he's going to come out with sort of a vengeance, and that match is going to be an absolute bloodbath, I think, no matter who comes out of it. And then whatever happens after that, I mean, you've got an incredible semifinals, and then there are just every storyline that I can envision for the finals is one where I would be like front row. Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
To include a Whit Harper rematch.
There you go.
Right.
But as a fan, looking on the other side, you see your Dragon Con, contemporaries. Like, how, if you weren't playing in the tournament, how excited are you for that, to see Zach play for the first time, to see Marie play against Gold Leader, things like that.
I have two very different thoughts on them. So Zach didn't get the opportunity to play. So this is him not only facing the hurdle of his first match, but facing the hurdle of debuting in the tournament against a guy that just showed that he's got every credential to beat just about anybody in this division.
Right.
So it's going to be, I don't envy him. I mean, that's a tough draw. People are like, oh, Whit, what did Whit do?
I mean, speak of the devil, we said his name.
There you go. I like it.
What's going on,
Yeah,
Adam?
that'd be a great storyline in the finals. Adam Whit versus Harper again. Oh, that'd be.
I don't know if that's my vote, just because I don't want to. I don't think I'll get lucky again.
We never know. We never, like you said, them questions are what decides it. It's really in these one-on-one Star Wars matches. It's low key a three-way. It's you guys versus the match or versus the questions.
That's exactly it.
It's not something where like, oh yeah, the questions were easy. Like, no, it's a whole different competitor in the whole match, like regardless of how many people are in it. But Amaru in the chat, Amaru, you missed it, brother. All these Star Wars tourney matchups are going to be brutal. Yes,
every single bat signal and swept in.
Right. I am so excited for this tournament. Last year, and I said last year that the Star Wars tournament was the best tournament that we've had ever, and I'll die by that sword. This year's tournament, even though it's not going to be live, which is a little. It kind of that I think if it was a live setting, this would probably be the best tournament right up there. But it's going to be amazing to watch storylines develop. See you play, like you're playing Eric Whiteley right off the bat. I mean that, and we saw. Look at my biggest question about Eric, and my question about you, Thomas, was: do you know how to play schmoedown? Not can you answer movie questions? Can you play schmoedown? If he just pronounces one word correct, he probably beats Hoey. And you guys are playing, you both are 1-1 playing this match. He's 0-1, but you're not nobody's taking him lightly. Nobody's gonna go, if Thomas loses, it's because he got lucky. No, it's gonna be because Eric knows his stuff. And that was my biggest question. And you guys have all proven, Marie's proven it, Eric's proven it, you've proven it, and Gold Leader's proven it that, hey, I can play the schmoedown. I can answer trivia questions, but I can play the strategy of the schmoedown. I know how to use JTs. Like I said, you guys look better than some of the vets that have been playing for the last couple of years. You guys actually look like schmoedown competitors for your first time. So now that's all out the window. You guys are not, as far as playing rookies, you guys know what you're doing. And that's what I'm looking forward to is the gamemanship, the strategy, the character work. This tournament's going to be amazing, and I am so excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And Star Wars is just the bizarro world where your record is irrelevant. You've got folks like Witt and Scrimshaw that are exhibits A and B to that argument. And quite frankly, like accuracy percentage is irrelevant. There's not a person in this tournament, in this division, that can't go perfect on any given day.
Right.
And sitting, I don't care. Like the championship match that just happened is proof positive that you can have, what is Damon's accuracy, like 95% over the course of 4 years. And it comes down to a brain fart, right? Just a small, tiny, you can't pull it quite fast enough. And that's where, and that's what sort of sets this division apart from IG and from singles is that narrow margin. But I really like Merle's mentality where that is all irrelevant. What matters is the end result and surviving question to question. Because if you go on like accuracy percentage and all these, stats and stuff like that, he doesn't win that match. Like you write him off real early on. But he's a good example of why the fight matters and staying in it. And Witt's a good example of that too. It just ended slightly differently there.
And to answer Jesse's question in the chat, we just saw it.
Yeah, we saw that. We
just saw that.
Keep poking him, Jesse. Keep poking him.
You're living in it right now.
Jesse was the Death Star, and the Den was the Rebel Alliance. So that's what happened.
Yeah,
keep poking, Jesse. You keep poking.
Man. So I mean, Thomas, you and a lot of the other Star Wars rookies are coming in here and surprising the hell out of a lot of people. And to piggyback off of Shugs, I mean, and aside from gameplay, like not only your drive to do well in the schmoedown, but like I told you before the show started, you've been on like every after show in the last week. Your commitment to this is like you don't have to do that. Like when Matt hit you up, you could have said, "No, I'm tired of you guys," and I totally would have been like, "All right, cool." Like I understand that, but like you don't have to do all that. And all these other folks popping up on after shows. All the folks in the chat that popped up on our show, like they don't have to do that. But you guys are so committed to it, so dedicated to it, to a point where there are people in the schmoedown who've been in this thing forever that don't necessarily do that, But you guys are out here setting the standard going forward, and the future of the league is so damn bright. And I mean, to address something you said earlier, like you mentioned that you want to be like the Undertaker. You've come on this show, you say you want to be like the Undertaker, and I've gone on other shows and said, Thomas Harper scares the hell out of me, but and it's not, and I don't mean that in a bad way. And people think like, oh, like he's not scary. No, you're such a nice guy. Like I mentioned, you've been so nice to come on our show. You've been so kind, and I'm like, no, like it's not a bad thing. But if I was in a dark alley and I saw you and you had your whiteboard, I'd be freaking the hell out. Yeah, I'd be freaking the hell out. Like, you know what? Like, oh my God, like this man's about to get me, And that match against Adam Witt, like if that match proved anything, is that I should be scared of Adam Witt too. Like that's like the two of you guys absolutely brought it. And I mean, damn dude, like you're gonna have another great match with Whiteley. If Whiteley plays the same or if not better than what he had against Hoey, then holy hell. Like we might be talking about another sudden death match. Like
let's just skip to the 5. Just skip to the 5 and and
then let's go into all the possible points. Give them the 5s, and we'll go from there. But my God,
I'll say this on that point. I came into this as a fan of the schmoedown, and I'm very aware. I'm trying to think who said it like this. I think Hoey said it best that I'm very aware that this seat that I occupy is one that a lot of people would have liked to have had. There are a lot of people in the FCL. There are a lot of people that just weren't drafted that sit in the chats or just watch that are, talented and they would love to have this position. And to get that opportunity is huge, but it also comes with a bill that has to be paid. And if this were just an experience where I'm studying and answering trivia questions in sort of the Dragon Con, like solitary lone wolf way, I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know if that's something that I want to keep doing. I don't know if there's fun in that, but I like engaging with folks. Matt and I the other day during the Hasbro live stream, we're trading DMs and just like, talking about how poor we're going to be after
Yeah.
pre-ordering all this stuff. But like, that's what I want out of this experience is to like, I'm not on any I'm a normal guy. Like I, happen to serve and that stuff. But like, I grew up in North Carolina. I went to public school for college. Like there's not some special bone in me. I happen to like Star Wars, but knowing Boba Fett's blaster does not make me somehow a better fan than anybody else. It's just, this is a fun hobby that I really like to do. Stuff tends to stick in my brain, and I have the real privilege to be able to do it, but without the sort of friendships that you make along the way. And that's I count stuff like this as building on those relationships. It's just, it becomes meaningless, and it becomes just you stressing yourself out to try to get a perfect match and get some sort of meaningless like W or L by your name. And I think a lot of the rookie class is great because they have that same mentality. And that's part of the reason I can't wait until we get back to live matches because of that sort of thing. Like I want to meet folks, like hang out and just talk Star Wars or whatever it is. So, that's my gush of the night, but that's why I do this stuff. Because I enjoy it as a fan.
Yeah, you're a great example for the Star Wars. Unlike some people in the chat right now, and for the schmoedown, you're a great example. We really appreciate you. But there's just still going on.
Just giving you some love, and then Saul comes in with this.
Yeah, like see,
Saul's merciless.
You're putting it lightly, Thomas. You're putting it lightly. So no, and I know we got to let you go in a little bit, but again, congratulations on the W. I mean, you're gonna kick so much ass this year to the shock of no one. But and I know like you want to stay humble, but again, like we're fans of yours over here. We really enjoy what you got going on. And again, and maybe Matt and I, we favor the folks who are nice enough to come on our show. So again, unless we have any more questions for our boy.
I don't have any more questions, but I do want to say it's perfect time to announce it since Thomas is here and it's Star Wars related. This Friday, Toby Barkwell and I will be relaunching Saber Reels on this channel. And Thomas, you are more than welcome to come on whenever you want, sir.
Just in time for Star Wars Day.
Right. Hey, Chris, doesn't he kind of look like Toby now that I'm thinking about it?
No, don't know. Like Thomas
Harper is actually an insult.
Thomas Harper is actually a good-looking guy. Yeah. Like, so.
Right. It's your gush of the night.
Yeah, that's mine. That's me explaining my man crush on Thomas Harper. That's what
Chris has to gush about everyone. That's Chris's thing.
Yeah. But I just want to say before Thomas leaves, Thomas, just thank you for being a role model, in the schmoedown and just being awesome. I mean, I know you say you're nothing special, but I think you're special because you're just an awesome person. And thank you for just being you, being honest, and just thank you for joining the schmoedown too. Because if you just stayed at DragonCon, we would never know about you. And I think this has been one of the best things that I've seen in the schmoedown. As short of a fan that I've been. You're amazing, and thank you very much. You're
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks. This was a blast, guys.
No problem.
Be back on in the near future, hopefully, after a victory and not licking my wounds after a defeat.
I mean, as if we have anything to say about it, if you have anything to say about it, I'm pretty sure these victories are going to be real swift, pun intended. So this again, brother, thank you so much, and we'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch, Thomas.
Yep. All right, I'll see y'all. See ya.
Thanks, my man. Appreciate it.
Gotta love Thomas Harper.
Damn it, guys in the chat, man. Like, wait, like, oh my god. Everybody in the chat
losing it too. That's the funniest part.
Look, Jesse, we are all crushing hard on Thomas Harper. We all have a crush on him. Like, who doesn't? I'd be surprised. And I know we put up the comment already, but I mean, Saber Reels, it's news to me. That's news to me. Friday?
Just because originally Toby wanted to do Saturday originally, but we have something going on Saturday.
We do. We're busy this weekend. We are doing an after show of the Free for All. OMG, baby, on this very channel. Yo, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Spin from the Reel, Free for All 4 after show. Myself, Matt Thomas, Suge, we're all going to be here hanging out at the free-for-all. So if you want to come hang out with us at the free-for-all, I mean, Jesse invites happily extended. Who's that fellow up front? Is he playing? I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know, Jack. But we are doing a show after the free-for-all on this very channel, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. These times are really messing me up. But if you want to come on and or you want to come by, hang out. We don't know how long the show's going to be, so we're guesstimating 5:30 Pacific time. But we'll keep you guys in the loop on our socials down at the bottom. So follow us at Spin From The Reel on Twitter. We'll update you guys as we go. So, but we're doing the after show after the free-for-all. And if this works, if we like doing it, if y'all come and hang out with us and y'all enjoy it, maybe we'll do more. Who knows? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. And we want to do more Spin From The Reel here. And we're doing, I know Suge and I, we do our FCL recaps on stereo. You can check those out there. C. Lopez FCS. C.A. Lopez FCS on stereo. Suge and I 323 on stereo. We do go live after the shows on Tuesdays. We're not done with the show by any means, but we're just plugging the hell out of everything. But my God, we're doing a lot of
time to plug certain things. So it was just like
right. So, and I guarantee that will not be the only time we mention that free for all after show. But the three of us will be talking some free for all this upcoming Saturday. So, I mean, come hang out. Let's talk some free for all. Let's talk some schmoedown. Let's have a good time. And if we're on all night, just like shooting the breeze, then by all means, then that's what we'll do.
I mean, I don't got to work the next day, so I will definitely be. I can stay up all night.
I will say this: Chris and Suge will be there the entire time. I unfortunately will not. I have some family stuff I got to take care of. So
priorities. My man got some.
And we will have guests.
Yes. We've been lining up guests.
Yeah, possibly Jesse. You know, because he's just going to talk shit. So that's fine. We'll bring him on. I like Jesse. Jesse's a good guy, man. Even though he's messing with Saul. I think you're barking up the wrong
every
stream.
Time Jesse just watches our show and he hangs out in the chat, he just gets annihilated. Last week it was up.
He gets himself into trouble.
This week it was the den, the entirety of the den. And I mean, Suge, the den shill of the show, my man he put in the den show group chat like, oh, hey guys, Jesse Swift's in the chat. Come obliterate him. And then Saul's like, I bet. And then he's going to like, come on now. Like, so we apologize, Jesse. Like, we don't mean for you to get annihilated when you come and hang out with us.
Oh, and speaking of which, let's plug Jesse. Jesse's got his engagement stream. Basically, he's got 100.
Oh, that's right.
He's celebrating. We are all gonna be on throughout the day. May 1st. That's right, May 1st. You can check us out there. Jesse's gonna be raising money for his wedding and just helping support him and his fiance because she's been so supportive throughout all this, and it's the best way, in my opinion, you can celebrate getting 100 subscribers. So,
wait. So if I donate a good amount, can I come to the wedding? Can I be the best man?
Right.
Can I throw you a bachelor party? Because Suge
it's scary. It's a scary thought to have Suge throw Jesse a bachelor.
Oh, it's
the flower boy. Yeah,
Ferris in the chat.
I mean, Ferris talks the most shit.
I'm glad Ferris wasn't here for the first hour of the show.
Oh, Ferris would have.
But yeah, Jesse, we're gonna be on Jesse's show May 1st. Flick and Reel, go ahead and check them out. Flick FILCKN Reel, like how we spell it. So go ahead and subscribe to him. Just because he hit 100 doesn't mean you don't got to sub to him anymore. Go ahead and sub to him, and we'll be there on May 1st, hanging out. Like Suge and I will be there at the same time, wreaking havoc.
Right.
I forget who's gonna be with us during that whole bit. I think
you just told me to show. You just told me to show up. All I want to know is, can I have a beer? Am I allowed to drink?
Yeah. Can we have a brewski? I might go get a brew. No, I'm not gonna have a brewski right now. Should I go? No, I'm not gonna do it. But no, we're busy. We're gonna be awfully busy these next few weeks, doing a bunch of stuff. But our free for all after show that's definitely happening this Saturday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central for all my Central Standard folks like me out here in Oklahoma. But Suge, we talk about Star Wars for an hour. We talk about Star Wars for a whole ass hour. Again, I hope Matt didn't hear me say that. We talked about it for a whole hour. Let's move on to the Thursday match, which was King Khan versus John Flickinger. We saw 2 more Rooks. Oh, hey, there's a channel. Flick and Reel. That channel. That's the channel will be on May 1st. Go ahead and follow him on Twitter too. So, Ferris, don't worry about it. And Oklahoma is definitely still a myth. I live in Nebraska. So what we're doing now, talking about King Khan and John Flickinger. So 2 more rookies, one representing the Dungeon, the other one representing the Finstock Exchange. The Finstock Exchange having themselves one hell of a year so far in regards to their rookies. I mean, we have the Ragents for one in the chat. Taylor Cleek, no stranger to the schmoedown. He is the advocate for the.
Why
the
do we keep
Ragers
saying that? He doesn't even watch the schmoedown.
He still
He's
is the
just a
advocate
damn
for him.
agent. He's just a damn
Without
agent.
Taylor, Radis isn't there.
Radis would be fine without this guy.
Do you see Radis's matches? Taylor lets him use his room, his space, bro, just so Radis can do the damn match.
Taylor is riding the coattails of Triple R, man.
Don't disrespect my boy. Don't disrespect my boy. Are you talking about the co-host, the Really Scared, that's gonna be live this upcoming Wednesday at 8?
Which is a great show. If you're not watching that show, you're great. It's a great show.
I'll be on this upcoming Wednesday. That show, the co-host.
He's trying to get me on that damn show.
Do it. I don't like horror movies.
I'm scared.
So am I. But no, so Taylor represents the Rager. The Rager is part of the Exchange, King Khan. King Khan's been one of those guys that nobody, talk about no one. Like we just said that, like if Thomas Harper didn't join the schmoedown, we wouldn't know who he was. If Khan didn't get his name uttered by Finstock, we definitely would have never heard of this man. At least that's the vibe. Christian Harloff, the person below our president, Grace Hancock, had no idea who King Khan was. Zero idea. But now, King Khan's out here playing the flick pick, John Flickinger. Again, no stranger to this whole YouTube space. I mean, he's buddies with Chris Stuckman. Chris Stuckman, no stranger to the movie Trivia Schmoedown. But in this match that we saw, Khan and Flickinger, oh, geez.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about this match. We don't know. We don't know what. Look, there was a lot of things going on before this match. Obviously, I don't think that it lines up perfectly with when this match happens, but I'm going to be honest with you. And this is what I always say to schmoedown players, and I'll say it, and I don't care if people get mad. I love somebody that shows up that actually is committed to the game.
Right.
I appreciate it. Win, lose, draw. Adam Witt,
Rager, Jeffrey Kahn.
Yeah, and anybody that just shows up to play. Yeah, Ferretti for sure. And you lose. As long as you showed that you actually cared, I'm down with you.
Right.
In this match, I'll say it, he didn't look like he wanted to be there. Didn't look to even understand rules, anything like that. Maybe it's just because it's his first time, and I can understand that, and I will give him a pass. But that's one of the frustrating things about this is if you are gonna play, please play your hardest. Please play to win, and please, actually want to be here. And if you do that, I appreciate you. Jesse, look, we're all giving Jesse a hard time. Saul's busted his balls, but he played, and he genuinely cares.
And he commits.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that more than anything. And if you do that, I'm good. And so in this match, look, Khan showed that he knows knowledge. He knows what he's doing. And again, I keep saying there's fans out there that watched the schmoedown and said, look, I can answer movie trivia questions. And they studied and they put out audition tapes and they got into the schmoedown and they're looking like killers. They're just looking amazing. And they're just because they're, they love the schmoedown. And so they're looking, they're showing up and showing out. And I think Khan did an amazing job just, coming in, and he looks like this year's rookies is one of the best crop I've ever seen. It's just all the rookies. I don't care if you lost, whatever. Yeah. Rookies are looking great.
Well, I will say this. You guys aren't going to see this interview. It was for a school project, but I was lucky enough to talk to Christian last week. And Christian talked about how this crop of rookies is definitely the most dangerous we've had since they started doing this. Mm-hmm. Based off of the sheer fact that these people have been fans of the game. They come in without the learning curve that a lot of rookies have. They don't have to learn the game. They already know how to play. They know the rules. They already know strategy. At this point, they're more so just, the question is, do they have the character and the trivia knowledge? And that's something I think we've seen with any rookie that's been a fan audition. So
No, seriously. And should to your point, like what you said, like a lot of these folks could answer trivia questions. Like a lot of people can. Like, and I know we get to see that spotlight with the folks here. And I know that I know we had this debate on the show before. I'm not trying to reignite it, where it's like, oh, is it trivia first or character first or a happy medium between the two? And depending on who you're talking to, like I know Suge, like and Matt, they're not too keen on the characters for first and foremost. They like the trivia, and then the characters come along with it. I'm the inverse. I love the character. That's the commitment part, right? And people like Roca, like that, established the character aspect, ruled it with the Outlaw, still killing it. Andrew Guy really taking the baton into a whole different level with these different iterations of the character, and something that we got to see this week. Our boys now talking to Mark Ellis, which is fantastic, but these rookies, a lot of these folks are taking that baton that Andrew had and sprinting, and they're succeeding. And the commitment is a whole different level than what it has been before, especially for folks who haven't played schmoedown before. Like you have some in the chat, like right now, like Taylor Cleek out here advocating for Rick Radis. Rick Radis being one of the better personalities in the schmoedown, in my opinion. And Jesse Swift, talk about commitment. Like this man went headfirst into the schmoedown, and look where he's at now. Like, yeah, he may be 0-1, but he still played a really good game, and he's still out here committing a lot to the schmoedown. And with Khan, right? Khan ruled. Khan had a great game. Flickinger, he was a big question mark going into the season, let alone this match. And his second round performance, I mean, man. And I know there's another second round performance I don't want to give too much flack to in the match we got Friday. But putting up 2 points in the second round, you're not doing yourself any favors, especially when the person you're playing goes 8 for 8 impossible points in that second round. Best Sue in the first round, and you need to answer all of your third round questions to survive. But then you only get your 2, miss your 3, and your winner. So like that's something that there's a line in the schmoedown, and you can tell when that line is being walked on, or people are just not acknowledging it. And as someone who like I dig the flick pick. I was a big fan of his on his YouTube channel. And aside from the stuff that we've been seeing on social media last week, flick pick was one of the people I was interested in, just so I can see how he did. And I wonder how the perception is now, not only within the dungeon, but from the fandom of the flick pick in regards to movie trivia. Let me also preface that in regards to movie trivia and the schmoedown to be exact. But King Khan had himself one hell of a performance. And again, another tip of the cap to the Finstock Exchange. Corey Cameron in the chat. Moving forward, would you put it on Kaiser to make sure Flick Pick has buy-in for the league and for the dungeon? See, I think at this point with anybody in any faction, you got to buy into it. You got to lean into what the schmoedown is. It's not just you show up, answer questions, and leave. Because if we want that, I mean, we had that for a while, where it's like a lot of folks just showed up, answered some questions, and bounced. And I think that schmoedown's way more entertaining if you fully embrace everything, like what Thomas Harper was saying earlier. It's the schmoedown isn't just answering questions. It's the questions, it's the character, it's the interviews, whether you're doing it on the schmoedown shows proper, like Rundown and Backstage, or coming on shows like ours, and you're talking about the schmoedown. Like we had Harper talk about schmoedown for an hour, and this man wasn't a part of the schmoedown 4 months ago, 3 months ago even. So also keep that in mind. My man dedicated a whole week of his life to this thing. Saul laughing
what we say.
At the idea at being the most dangerous rookies. I swear, vow, and guarantee you the rookie class 2020 will be remembered as the greatest rookie class in MTS history. No, and I mean like by all means. And if you think that's funny,
if that's what you think, that's fine. I'm just reiterating what Christian said to me. So your issue's not with what I said; it's with what Christian said.
And I mean, if Christian is not here to defend himself, Christian Harlow, if you'd like to come on the show, by all means, invite's open. But I think this class of rookies is still really good. You cannot deny that this class is really, really good. Taylor, click in the chat. I'll say when it comes to Gucci and the Exchange, a lot of people think of the dossier as running gag. It ain't. It proves it better than Khan. No proves it better than Khan. If anyone else did the same level of research, they'd have picked them up. Didn't happen. He's going to have one hell of a season. Damn right. and the entire Finstock Exchange has had themselves one hell of a season. And the only two
two
losses are right.
Brother Lo and Chris and I were talking because Chris and I were lucky enough to hang out this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this on the car ride to the airport for him yesterday. Unfortunately, sad car ride.
Was it a sad car ride?
Because you were leaving.
Oh, because I left. Oh, I'm like, why is it sad? I thought we were really enjoying ourselves.
But
go ahead.
But we were talking about this, and it's like realistically, all you had to lose so far was Brother Lomas and Craig, and then 3 out of your other 4 rookies who have played have gotten TKOs.
Right. And there's still folks who are highly touted in the exchange who haven't even made their debuts yet or play, like Taylor Robinson. She's not a rookie. She's a sophomore, but we still haven't seen her play this year. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of hype within the exchange, and King Khan proved that. And I don't know what I have to do if I got to make some calls or call or DM some of my connections in the exchange and say, hey man, how do I become part of the King's Court? Because I mean, like that's
no. Get out of here. We don't take corruption fans in this.
Why are you don't discriminate me, man? How dare you?
Because you're
look
a corruption stand.
Look at us, the 3 of us here. You're gonna discriminate on our show, bro? You're better than that. Come on now.
No, but in regards stands are allowed in the exchange. We cashed out. To the moon.
Who's we?
Exchange fans.
Stop speaking for the entire exchange. Stop it. Like my lord, like you think you're on this pedestal because you think you like the exchange. I like the exchange too. I kind of like the exchange, Matt. How dare you try to push me out? A brother looks just like you. You're gonna push me out? You're out here like you people and the corruption fans. My God, how dare you? How dare you? You are so disrespectful. You are doing something that the exchange wouldn't do. Right? I'm out here. I was hyping up the exchange. I'm not one of those folks that was questioning the exchange about like, oh, why they draft out rookies. That wasn't me. And you're out here like, you get out of here with that. You disrespectful. But disrespectful. So yeah, you are disrespectful.
No,
so me. Now you're just lying. So for all those watching right now, Matt Thomas obviously is a liar. Because he doesn't listen to our shows, even though he's on them. So in regards to King Khan had himself one heck of a game in this one. I mean, 7 out of 8 in the first round, going perfect in the second round, not even have to answer a third round question. How many exchange rooks are we going to see not have to answer a third round question? And that's the big money question. Taylor, click in the chat. We'd love to see anyone and everyone bend the knee. Thank you, someone who actually represents the exchange. So that's my thing, right? Like these rookies, granted, yes, they're playing other rookies, but a TKO is a TKO nonetheless, especially now that they're costing factions points. That's the big thing.
That's huge.
Like
the
dungeon, although the dungeon has themselves one hell of a lead, now that leads 1 point down because Flickinger got a TKO. And now that we're in the free agency period, is Flickinger gonna go? Because we know this match. We know a lot of the matches are pre-taped, pre-recorded, and like, is this going to be something that like is going to cost Flickinger his spot in the dungeon? Is he going to go to the FCL? Is he done with the schmoedown entirely? So there are some folks in the FCL right now who are up for free agency that we may see on a faction like the dungeon, but a lot of folks anticipate no crazy changes, at least not yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if the dungeon makes a little bit of a change.
I mean, Winston's already passed on his. I think the
dungeon too.
Yeah, the dungeon is the last one who'd have a chance. So maybe.
Right. So we'll totally see if the dungeon does anything. But this flick pick performance didn't do him any justice. And my man put up 2 points in the second round. That's not something that's not a winning performance. And you really gotta bring in that second round because that second round is crucial. I know it's real cliche and we're repeating ourselves. That second round is brutal. But if you're a rookie and trying to make yourself stand out and you come in against a guy like Khan, who's been highly touted as like the nameless, faceless guy that our chairman didn't know. And now here he is putting up 15, not answering a third rounder. It's a pretty damn good performance, if I say so myself. And the exchange have had themselves one heck of a year so far. Who knows what they're going to be doing now? And I think their next match is JTE, right?
Yep, Friday.
Friday, and so we'll talk
And
about that.
we already know Ben God is going to win that match. So it's not.
I will reserve my thoughts until we talk about that later because I have conflicting feelings about that match. But Shug, how did you feel about the whole Conor Flickinger match? At least in regards to the aftermath of it.
Well, like I said, I feel like, you know, and this is not trying to put him down, but if you're gonna play in this league, you gotta show up and you gotta, you know, try to at least show that you're somewhat interested. He putting 2 points up in the second round is inexcusable. Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, this is not season 1 of the schmoedown where you know, people weren't taking it lightly, and that's no disrespect to people that played in season 1 or season 2. But like I said, I have been saying it for the last couple of weeks, and I'll continue to say that these people that are coming into the schmoedown have studied, have watched, have played along, and are fans of the schmoedown. They're not coming here to play the game just for fun. They're coming to win. They're coming to compete, and they're coming to show that they can play in the schmoedown. And so when you see that, it's very exciting. But when you see someone that doesn't, it's very disappointing. And at the end of the day, you know what? I don't know what happened. I have never talked to Flickinger. Sorry to pronounce
Flickinger.
So Flickinger. You know, and so I don't know exactly what's going through his head. Maybe he just didn't know stuff. Maybe he was nervous.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Maybe
so that's why I say
his boy John Walker.
See, again, we're gonna stick with the movie trivia.
You know, but at the end of the day, like, I'll give him one more shot. You know, if unless he gets dropped, you know, play another match. Let's see if you can do better. If you can't do better, or you do worse, or you're not interested, then okay, then just go and do your YouTube channel, and that's fine. There's other people to look at. David Campbell. David Campbell is fiending to get into this league.
Right.
Fiending to play in the schmoedown.
Right.
You don't think Kaiser would love David Campbell right now over that performance we saw from Flickinger?
Come
on. Flickinger, whatever. I can't pronounce it. Sue me.
Flickinger.
Just say Flick. Just say John.
Yeah, whatever. John. There you go.
So no, but bringing someone up from the I don't know if Campbell's eligible. I don't think he's on that.
They're not gonna let him. He's not coming to the schmoedown for he's not coming to schmoedown until next year.
It might be later this year. Who knows?
I mean, it could be later this year, but I mean, right now with what Campbell's doing.
Just remember, we're only at the second free agency period. There are three. I don't think Brad Gilmore is going to let him come up. That's not up to Brad. Christian has said it. He is the one who decides when somebody can get called up.
If Christian knows if he wants the FCL to, I mean, look what David Campbell has done in the month the FCL has been around. Like, I'm pretty sure Campbell is, I don't want to say single-handedly, but in regards to character work, he's elevating the entire league by himself.
Yeah, I would totally disagree with Christian if he brought David Campbell up to the schmoedown so early. I would let David Campbell possibly win the championship, let him stay in the FCL for this year, and then next year he be drafted as a big draftee.
Right.
You know, that's I think the play. I
think
get Christian has that power.
Might have some words with you then.
Plus,
who?
I think David Campbell might want to have some words with you then.
I think he'll agree with me. I think he would like to get a year on his belt, be a champion, and come into the schmoedown as the FCL champion or relinquishing the FCL championship and have so much hype behind him. Why? I get that he wants to be in the schmoedown, but I think he would agree that maybe it would be best for him to stay in the FCL just for this year. I'm not saying for the next couple of years. I'm not even saying for, whatever. I'm saying just for now until next draft, and he'll get drafted. He will absolutely get drafted. He'll probably be a number one, number two pick, realistically, to be honest with you. So that's just my opinion.
I mean, maybe and Shug, since we did the FCL stuff, maybe we have to talk to David Campbell because his thoughts on that.
Maybe we do need to talk to Campbell. Maybe I'll tweet at him right now and say, hey, I need to talk to you.
Don't say that. Because that's real passive aggressive, and I don't want any hostility because we do want the dynasty to pop up on Spin from the Real adjacent. But
right
with Conor and Flickinger, Yeah, Flickinger's performance wasn't the best. I think Khan is definitely the story of this, and just piggybacking off of that. Peggy Gubbins in the chat. The dude's had one match. I don't think you can make that type of call on any of us yet.
No. I'm not saying he would be a number 1 round pick now. I'm saying if he stays in the FCL for this whole year.
I think she's talking about Flickinger because she said he's had one match. Flickinger. See, the reason Suge's saying this about Flickinger is because he looks disinterested. He looks like he just showed up.
Is it Flickinger that she's talking about? I don't know, Peggy. If you can tell us who you're talking about.
If it's in regards to the rookies, then yeah, I understand. I totally understand the POV too. Like it is one match, and
well, that's why I said I think he should get one more match. That he should get one more match. Then I'm trying to give him. Oh, never mind.
Talking about David.
Okay, so let me explain my point before Matt rudely interrupt me.
How dare you?
I'm saying right now he would be if he wouldn't be a star in the schmoedown, but if he stays in the FCL, wins the matches, wins the championship there next year in the draft, he would be a very high draft pick and would be sought out of because he would be able to work on his craft, he'd be able to work on his character work. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying right now he is. No,
we don't know if
honestly, Peggy. Honestly, Peggy, I pick you over him right now. That's me. I would pick you over him right now.
Here's the thing. We don't know where he'd be drafted. You can't say he'd be a first rounder because it seems like we're going to keep the same process we had this past year in place for next year. So you can't be like, oh, I'm going to pick him over someone who went like 2-1. Let's say Peggy or Paige Reddy or Rager or Frankie Alvarez or Amaru. Let's say they go like 2-1, 1 or 3-0, stuff like that for the year. Are you going to pick David Campbell over any of them?
If David Campbell's
that question again
if David Campbell's 5-0 and a champion in the FCL,
but can't argue with that. This is coming from the person who writes for the FCL. The level of difficulty is different for the FCL.
So we're fan leagues.
And I don't want let's not start the discrediting conversation.
No, I'm not.
I'm not talking about you. And I'm not talking about you.
I'm not discrediting. My point is, we want to develop.
They made it no secret that title matches are going to be higher in difficulty.
Yeah,
they made that no secret. But if Campbell does well, it's like, all right, bet, then cool.
But still, it's still starting from the ground up. And who's to say he's going to be playing? He's probably going to be playing other rookies next year if you wait till next year. So he's going to be playing other rookies because he'll technically be a schmoedown rookie.
Yeah, so that's fine because then he dominates. But then he dominates.
I'm still not going to take someone who's a rookie higher than people who have been proven and whatnot at the schmoedown level. That's what I'm saying.
Matt, where was Thomas Harper taken?
What? But that's
in the first round.
Star Wars. That is Star Wars. It is not singles.
That's still Star Wars difficult, dude.
Star Wars, I would actually. That's very comparable because singles is a broader spectrum compared to Star Wars.
Peggy in the chat, she said, all I was trying to say is that all of us rookies need to play more than one match before someone can pin a career trajectory on us. No, like
for sure,
totally,
yeah, for sure,
totally,
yeah.
And
I'm sorry if I was pinning a direction, a career trajectory on somebody. It's just my personal opinion. That's how I look.
And I was rocking with everything you were saying until you said like top pick. I'm like, let's cool it a little bit.
That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying right at the top pick.
Okay, let me ask you a question. David Campbell's 5-0 in the FCL, wins the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have your 3 top picks. And he's sitting right there. You wouldn't take him?
No.
I'll equate.
I think that's a ground player.
I'll equate this.
No, who's proven?
I'll equate this.
Second-year players who have wins on their schmoedown record. That's a proven.
But if they're 2-1, and I got a 5-0 player that's a champion.
Let's also keep in mind that folks like Mara Kanopik were in that first round. So let's also keep that in mind. These established schmoedown vets.
Yeah, but I think next year when managers are able to keep their top 3, it's not going to be as it's going to be a little like let's be honest. I think we all know that John Roca is retiring after this year. So the Finstock
we know that?
exchange.
Do we know that? Do we
I don't know that.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. But the Finstock exchange would have got like Barbarian, would have probably got Mara and somebody else. Like, but also too, it goes back to if they wanted to stay with that faction. So that's
Right.
that's a lot. That's also a factor. What I'm saying is if you're seeing somebody that's played in the league and is 5-0 versus someone that is 2-1 and or 3-0 or 3-1, you have to really look at both players and decide, do I want to take a chance on the 5-0 player, or do I want to take a chance on someone that's 2-1, 3-0, whatever, 3-2, whatever you want to do. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying David Campbell looked good in his first match. I say leave him there for the year, see what he does. Let's say that his next match he loses. He loses his next three matches, and he's a dud. Then he's a dud. Then and I'm not trying to call him a dud, but I'm just saying, let's just say that that's what happens. Then you don't have to worry about that.
Right. Saw in the chat, a couple bum asses running around here with one match whose career trajectory I am fun to put to an end. Look,
I don't even think Jesse's still in the chat, bud.
Look, so and I want to emphasize what Corey was saying earlier. Like I like he obviously echoes Shook's statements. I echo them as well. I think like the dynasty is going to be something big to build in the FCL, and then you bring him up. It's long-term storytelling, like what Corey said. Like it's a long-term booking.
Yeah, it was storytelling. And then, like I said, if you think about it, if he's the champion by the end of the year, draft comes around, that's a big storyline because who does he play? If they draft him, who does he play first? Here's a champion coming from basically another league. How good really is he? Because now he's up. Now he's not another league, but the developmental league. Right. Now, how good is he? Is he really that good, or is it just he was given opponents that maybe weren't that good, and then you see what happens with him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he should be, but I'm saying it's a possibility. That's all I'm saying.
Right, and it's
like I said, I take Peggy right now over David Campbell.
Like no, there are a lot of folks. There's a lot of hype behind a lot of these people. I mean, and Saul's in the chat. I mean, last year when Saul showed up, there's a lot of hype behind Saul and what Saul was capable of doing. And I mean,
actually, no, there wasn't. A lot of people questioned Saul because of where he came from, and then they saw how he can run that mouth on a certain show.
That's what I'm saying.
And then people were kind of conflicted because they're like, well, we don't know if he knows movie trivia, but he can run that mouth.
And it goes back to what I was saying earlier.
And then he proved in the match that he could play movie trivia. And now he's really proven that I call him now the apex predator because he's going around murdering people. Jesse Swift tonight included. I feel sorry for Jesse. I like the guy.
And that's all I was saying
Saul's
earlier.
Trying to kill people. Saul's trying to kill people. It's really scary what Saul's trying to do to people in the schmoedown.
But again, like the character work can get you far, like super early without even having to play movie trivia. Saul is example of that. Like we may not have seen him answer his questions, answer any movie trivia questions yet, but the character part, or in Saul's case, the real life part of Saul's legitimate real life personality character, whatever you want to call it. That's what got him to that match, and obviously he did really well. Came just short, but I mean, look what he did to poor John. Peggy Gubbins in the chat. They shouldn't question Saul. They do so at their own peril. Oh, geez. Wait a minute. Like, don't say they when Suge speaks for himself. The views of Suge Knight reflect the views of Suge Knight. They do not reflect the views.
Yeah, actually, that stops in a couple of weeks. So
let's We don't know that.
They do.
That's As far as I'm concerned,
you are preaching to the choir.
That's what Suge's saying. He's agreeing with you.
You're preaching to the choir because I have had conversations with Saul that I don't want to have because the man, wants to always talk crap to me. But he is committed to the schmoedown. It's what's one thing I love, and he elevated himself this year compared to last year. I've talked to him. He said, "Look, last year Saul's knife that was a bad Saul. Wait until you see this out. I can't wait to see his next match. Hopefully it's maybe Jesse Swift, so I can see another murder.
We don't want to end Jesse's career, man.
Oh, we want to end it.
Don't say again. The reviews of Suge Knight do not reflect the views of Spin from the Real. Thank you so much, Suge.
Even though I want to be at his wedding, we want to end it.
Apparently, Jesse never answered the question. How much money do I have to donate to be at your wedding?
Right. Look, if Jesse and Saul play and Saul destroys them, we're absolutely doing the Kevin Hart bit. He wasn't ready.
No.
He wasn't ready.
No.
I to go back to the initial conversation with the exchange and the dungeon, Flickinger and Khan.
Where are we at?
What the hell happened?
We talked about David Campbell.
So no, and David Campbell. I mean, rightfully so. We should all be talking about David Campbell, but we should all be talking about David Campbell. Seriously, if you don't watch USBL,
we're talking about Fletchinger, John, whatever. I can't.
John, the flick pick.
But now we should probably move on to.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
So on Friday we got the highly anticipated return of the Godfather, Drew McWeeny. I mean, my man's all lean and mean, and it's like okay, like we're Drew McWeeny, we're out here, and he's facing off against the delinquent Lon Harris. And this was a highly anticipated match when we got the first wave of these matches for April. And it's like, ooh, God, like we're gonna get McWeeny and Harris. Ooh, it's gonna be a good one. Which Harris are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the one that really made a name for himself, not only with the single stuff, but with teams in Final Exam? Or are we going to get that Harris that was like, that played against Shazam not too long ago? Or same thing for McWeeny. Are we going to get the ring rust McWeeny? Or are we going to get the Godfather, the guy who had a belt, my man with a tag belt, and he was one of the scariest players at one time in the schmoedown. But now, after this match, I mean, Harris is up 9-7 after a perfect round, and then the second round happens, and it takes an unexpected turn. I don't know if anyone. I know people had Harris beating McWeeny, but I don't know if people had McWeeny with the ring rust in that second round. Like, I know the ring rust is obviously a thing, and it's real hit. Talk about things being hit or miss. I know we say on the show a lot that competitors are hit or miss. Ring rust is also hit or miss. Like Mara Kanopik. Oh, she'll have ring rust. She's been away for 2 years, and she has the IG points record after her first match back. Oh, ring rust doesn't exist. Drew McWeeny plays a few months later. Oh, it's Drew McWeeny. It's the Godfather. My man puts up 3 points in the second round, and he's down 15-10 going into the second. And Harris, all he needs is this 2-point question, and your winner, the delinquent, best the Godfather. Shug, what were your 2 cents on the delinquent Lon Harris beating Drew McWeeny?
Well, look, I was on the Schmoes of the North on
shout out Schmoes in the North, and
we were talking about it, and we're like, this match for some reason I didn't get it felt like it was a letdown. I don't know why. And look, Lon played good, kudos to him. Can't really say anything, but it felt like a letdown. But it goes back to that second round where Drew keeps romance and absolutely gets wrongful stomped by that category. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he just maybe thought that, because we've seen that a couple times this year where someone gets a category and they're like, yeah, or spinner's choice, and they're like, yeah, I can keep that quote. I want this slice.
Especially in the suspects, we've seen that before.
Yeah, and then it just messes him up. So we don't know what was his mindset. It would be nice to talk to him about it, but maybe he just thought, oh, I know romance, and then they just hit him with questions that you don't know. It's happened before, many of times.
Right. Like, I think Sam Levine, like, we saw that with Shannon Miller, where it's like, oh, like he let the competitor, he trusted them with their and Corey Cameron. I don't want to jump the gun too much on Will's Slice of the Week. I definitely had. We'll talk about that later towards the end. But
this is Will's Slice of the Week, right this week, by the way.
Yeah, spoiler alert. That's not my Will Slice of the Week. But it'd be a damn good one for a real, not, I don't want to say bad reason, but for underwhelming reason. Because I mean, we were all looking forward to McWeeney's comeback. Who wasn't looking forward to McWeeney's comeback? I feel like if you tell the oral history of the schmoedown, if you were to go back and recite it to somebody, you mentioned Drew McWeeny by name. Granted, his single stuff wasn't the best, and I mean, we saw that again on Friday. But the man, he's awfully scary. His nickname's the Godfather for a reason. But the delinquents, whom I don't know, like, is Lon Harris the new definition of spotty players, where we don't know what we're going to get out of Lon Harris? He kind of lives up to the delinquent character, because we're like, yo, what do we expect out of the delinquent this week? And this man put up a great performance. A really good performance against the Godfather, essentially raining on the Godfather's parade. Like, this is the triumphant return of Drew McWeeny. And Lon Harris is like, nah, I got this. And all he needed was his 2 in this 3rd round. And your winner, here we go. Moving on to bigger and better things, Lon Harris in singles, not necessarily Drew McWeeny. And another big loss for the Suspects. That's another big thing, right?
But hey, Swag got a much-needed win.
The Swag didn't need this W. They needed it, but I mean, the Suspects, man, 2 of your top 3 hitters, the only 2 of the top 3 that played this year so far, like, they took losses where Sam trusted them with their choices in the 2nd round, and it didn't pay off for either one of them. Liz Shannon Miller with DreamWorks, now McWeeny with Romance. And like, damn, I know Leo Logan said it. Sam should have tried to talk him out of it. I think Sam, from this point forward, needs to start getting involved. Like, that's like 100% something that needs to be a thing going into the season. And McWeeny, according to Leo Logan, my best friend Leo Logan, McWeeny is now 4-6 in singles. He hasn't won by himself since 2018. And I know my man took last year off, and like but my man was going through it, but he's back. And the fact that he hasn't won on his lonesome in 3 years, again, singles was never his strong suit. Singles, no. He always worked better as a teammate. Like, McWeeny is one of those guys who, if you're in a team with McWeeny, odds are you have some success. And like, we saw that in multiple different iterations of McWeeny tag teams, but the single stuff in McWeeny just isn't it. But good on Lon Harris, and I don't want to just harp on McWeeny. Like, good on Lon Harris for having such a great performance to really to silence the haters from the tag match against Shazam. Because I know people were questioning Lon's ability to play, and like, is he the same Lon that we got like in last year when Final Exam was really being Final Exam? Mighty Ducks in the background. Is that what you're watching, Shug? Mighty Ducks?
No, my kids are. I'm sorry, I have kids, so they are watching shows in the background.
No, you're good. You're all good.
This is why you put little 19-inch TVs in their room.
Are you crazy? These kids, they stay up all night if I had TVs in the room.
That's why I said a 19 inches, so you can unplug that thing and take it in and out.
When you become a father, you'll understand. Okay.
See, then, and I mean, welcome to Real Parenting with Suge Knight and Matt Thomas. But the thing with Lon Harris, right? Again, he silenced the haters, silenced the critics of him. All of us here questioning the delinquent at one point or another, and here he is besting the Godfather. Damn, like, I don't want to give my man Dan Merle's new nickname. I'm not about to say like, damn, Lon, like, plus it doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But still, it's an impressive performance by Lon Harris, missing 2 questions the entire game. Like, what else? Like, what else can you expect out of somebody like that? And Swag needed the W. With all the garbage going on in Swag and competitors not wanting to be with Winston, and Winston having to be like, no more fun. We're gonna do trivia.
Well, pause. Now that we're talking about this match, we do got to bring up that Swag related cutscene in the beginning.
Oh yes. And God bless.
Was it really important though?
Yes. We got a new commissioner.
Man.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, please.
So Jay never wanted to take over Swag. It was all a ploy to prove that he knew what was going on to Grace and how things would go. And now he's the commissioner. We got a black commissioner. I love it.
That's fine. I'm good with that. The execution wasn't there for me.
Word. And I was pleasantly surprised by the move. I like the twist. I like they worked me. Like, to use some pro wrestling terminology, they had me worked. I thought like, oh, Jay's gonna try to. I like the stuff with Winston, but no, that wasn't Jay's ploy all along. And again, our president Grace Hancock is doing some of the best things Schmoedown has ever seen. And I pay the people in the Facebook group. I see some of y'all showing love to our president, but we should all be showing love to Grace Hancock. Like, since she took over, look what the Schmoedown has done. I think we're flourishing. We're having some great matches, some of the best matches ever. Have happened under Grace Hancock's reign, and I think for the better. Grace Hancock is doing some great stuff in the Schmoedown. Matt's just being so disrespectful. I don't know what your deal is. I don't know what you're looking at, But I mean,
I'm a Christian guy through and through. Give me my chairman back.
no, he's and I mean, like he's still there. Like the chairman's still there. Like it's just above him is the president. Like as things are, and Grace Hancock is just absolutely killing it. So, and that was a great swerve with the Washington stuff. Yeah, like I wasn't the biggest fan of the execution either, but at the same time, it gave payoff to that story that was already like, nah, with the Challenger stuff. It was all just a bigger scheme by Jay Washington under the tutelage of our president. So again, great stuff in regards to long term. You worked us, you got me. I'll say that you absolutely got me. But before we move on to the matches this upcoming week, do we want to do wheel slice of the week right now?
Considering you're the only one with the wheel slice of the week, might as well.
Right. So I'm the only one prepared for wheel slice of the week. I mean,
some of us had stuff we had to do, like cleaning an entire house because a visitor was coming in town and whatnot.
Yeah, and some of us wasn't on a plane going to Vegas, so
I was in Vegas for 45 minutes, and
I don't give a damn. You were still in Vegas,
and I mean, haters gonna hate, and I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna sit over here and do what I got to do.
I'm hating. I don't care.
All I'm hearing is excuses. That's all I'm hearing. Wheel slice of the week this week. Corey Cameron, you're alluding to it earlier. Maybe is it romance for McWeenie because of the downfall of McWeenie, which is a great pick, Corey. If that is your wheel slice of the week, then by all means, all power to you. I think it's a great pick. But for me, my wheel slice of the week, and again, I don't want to keep sounding like such a shill for the exchange, but Matt and Ben for King Khan. And maybe it was because of everything going around it. Maybe I'm piggybacking off of the success that the exchange has had. And we'll get to that in a second, Corey. That's a good question. But the stuff with the exchanges here has impressed the hell out of me. And I think we mentioned it with Thomas earlier, the Den and the exchange are surprising a lot of folks. They're silencing a lot of their critics. And Khan further proved that, especially one of the more unknown rookies, or if not the most unknown rookie, that went in the whole draft. He went to the exchange and he absolutely slayed Matt and Ben. And I love the Matt and Ben category. Shout out to Paige Robetti, wherever she's at. I know like the Matt and Ben category has been around the spawn for a little bit, but just how King Khan absolutely just slayed through it. And again, maybe my mind's getting bogged by the Finstock exchange and them having a great showcase for rookies this year. And it may not be the best rookies ever, but they're doing some great stuff. And you can't not acknowledge what the exchange is doing. I know we said it last week on the show. I'll say it again here. Alex Damon, for a long time, when he was playing matches, it was hard to bet against him because of his success. Now, the Finstock exchange, at least in regards to their rookies, all the rookies won except Lomas. Like that's really what it is. And other two losses, it's Lomas and the Barbarian of all people. Mm-hmm. So with what the rookies are doing at the exchange, and maybe my mind's clouded by it. Taylor Cleek in the chat. No, they're the best rookies ever. And I mean, again,
Taylor know? He don't watch the schmoedown.
He talks to Rick Radis on a daily basis. I can say that in confidence. Speaking with my boy Taylor, I don't talk to Rick like that. But with Taylor, being the advocate, he's around the exchange a lot. He may not watch the programming a ton, but he may directly be involved with the programming. So my slice of the week, the lone wheel slice of the week, Matt and Ben for King Khan and Khan versus Flickinger. And again, it may be biased, I may be clouding my own judgment, but that's the one that stuck out to me. I like that category a lot. Matt and Ben for King Khan, wheel slice of the week. Let's do some predictions for next week's matches.
Well, before we get into the predictions, let's put out those standings real quick. We got myself at a nice little 24-6. We got Shug batting 500 at 9-9. Remember, folks, he joined in late. And Chris is at a nice little 19-11.
Well, remember, I'm about to make a run right now on you, Matt. So don't worry, okay? You could take your lead for right now, but I'm gonna come at you right now. So
for the sake of integrity, when we end the season, we'll do winning percentage. How about that, Shug? Like we'll do winning percentage.
I've never batted 500 in my life, so I kind of feel good right now.
Good. I'm glad we could do something for you. But the match or the Patreon match this week, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
You can't yell at me today because I didn't watch it.
You haven't seen
busy.
it. Thank God.
I don't know who
remember,
won.
it got sent late. It got sent literally as we went on.
Okay,
Good. I mean, now
so this is legit. I don't know who won because I know last week Chris was complaining, saying I knew who won, and I had already picked that person, but Chris wants to make an excuse.
I let it slide. I wasn't gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna die in the hill.
This week I didn't watch the match yet, so I'm gonna watch it actually after this. But go ahead with your prediction, Chris. Are we gonna?
First of all, what's the match, Matt?
So Jess Sloth, and Beth May.
Woo! The highly anticipated debut of Beth May. Beth May stole the hearts of a bunch of the fans in the Facebook group for obvious reasons. Her promo work was great. I mean, it was something. It was different. It was quirky. I'll say that, and especially for the faction she's a part of, I think it fits the bill. So it's a toss up. I don't know what I don't know what these women are capable of. I'm gonna pick Schloth, and I'm gonna rock with the Den this week. That's I think it's a toss up. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Jessica, and my best friend Leo Logan in the chat also picks Jessica. Matt, who you got, Schloth or May?
I mean, we were talking about this past weekend, and I'm sticking by my pick. That's Jess. I don't know what to expect from Beth May.
Hold on, can we do something real quick? Can we check Matt's screens? Yeah, I think he's watching the match right now as he's predicting.
No, I'm not.
as he drops out, like
as he drops out.
Oh my God! Did you just watch the?
No, because I went to share screen.
Yo,
this is my other screen.
Look at this tab, boys.
Okay, look at this.
You were clicking around.
Wait, Pornhub? What?
There's no Pornhub.
Oh, hey, is that maybe a glimpse of what we're doing next week on Spin from the Reel? Put that away. We'll talk about that.
What do you think I was working on this entire time?
You were watching the match. That's what you were doing.
No.
But Shook, who you got? Schloth or May?
I am going to take Jessica. Also, I'm a Den Chill. So
you are a Den Chill, except when it comes to James White.
Here's my reasoning.
I just watched the match and Schloth won, so it was crazy as hell.
Chris, shut up, because you were a part of the conversation the other day, so quit. But honestly, Jess is a longtime fan.
Can't spoil it. Yo, Matt stays spoiling stuff, bro.
Blame that on Suge and Chris.
I mean, not only did you spoiled the special guest and you spoiled the match for yourself, you just watched back the ending to the Patreon match. Like, because by all means, Chris Taylor and I had this conversation on Saturday or Sunday morning, depending on how you want to look at it. I was picking Jess then, and I'm standing by it now. Jess is a fan. You go to her Twitter, and she posts about how a couple years ago she was at a live event, and she's like, if you told Jess from a few years ago that she'd be in the schmoedown, she wouldn't believe you. So the passion is there, and again, the whole commitment thing we're talking about earlier. The fans are where you're going to get it from, and you see that a lot. And I mean, obviously, there are people who weren't fans that are now not only fans but competitors as well. So I mean, picking Jess is a safe bet. I'm not going to underestimate Beth May though, because I mean, the quirky Mercs they have a great head on their shoulders, and they may pun intended they may have. Some I don't know what the study sessions are like. Jesse, I don't know if you're still hanging around, but like with Bibiani and Meyer at the top, and now the Star Wars champion Andrew DeMolanta, there could be some great stuff happening at the Mercs, and we just saw Eric Whiteley just whoop ass in Star Wars. So don't underestimate May, but I'm also gonna pick Schloth for this one. So the Friday, or excuse me. Not the Friday match. The Friday match we'll get to in a second. What's the Thursday match, Matt?
Jacoby Bancroft and Jacob London. Battle of Family Champions.
I'm excited about this.
Start us off. Who you got?
Oh, that's be a good one.
Oh my God. All right. Aussie. Oi. Josh, I'm going with my boy Jacob London. That's who I'm going with.
Oh man. All the too many Jacobs and Jacobys around, man.
Both JB in this instance.
Right, JB. A lot of initials. Leo Logan in the chat. He'll say Blunden. Corruption needs the points, and the points are Corruption needs some W's in their favor going into the free for all this upcoming weekend. Corey says it's the most anticipated match of the week. Seeing another rookie face off going Bancroft and Blunden. Oh man. Oh geez. I think. Like with Bancroft being a part of the Family League 4, he's been highly touted as one of the maybe the best of the bunch. Who knows? I don't know if Amaru's still around or Peggy's still around. Maybe they can speak in his favor, although they're not in the same faction. I do think the Family League 4, after the first 4 matches, they'll be at an even 500, just like Suge. I think Blunden, and I'm a pick Blunden.
You think they're going to be? Oh wait, that's interesting because I forgot Peggy won for a second. So
yeah, I'm going to pick Blunden. I want to. This match would be really, really, really good. It probably will be the best match of the week. It will probably be the best match of the week. And is this the first time we see Roxy versus Shannon this year?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, great! So the promos between it's gonna be a lot of
fire.
Like there's gonna be a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Animosity between these two squads. Plus corruption down at the bottom. They need as many points as they can get nowadays. And I think Blunden has. I don't want to put the responsibility on him, but damn, like this is a must win for corruption. The stars they'll be corruption. Matt said it earlier when he tried to degrade me. I'm a corruption fan, so I'm gonna side with corruption 100%. Matt, who you got?
I'm going with the first ever Fan League champion. It's easy to say. Like, I'm not doubting Blunden because he destroyed and massacred the Fan Leagues. He set the standard for Fan League champions. It's Blunden all the way, baby.
Yeah, Bancroft. It's going to be Bancroft's going to be a force to be reckoned with. If Peggy had anything to say about it, if I'm ready to say about it, or V, like in watching their performances, that the three of them they can bring it, and we should expect the same out of Bancroft. So I may be picking Blunden, but you can't sleep on Bancroft. So
yeah, for sure.
It's going to be awfully interesting to see how that match plays out. But
do
Friday,
we even need to talk about the next match?
We do. For the sake of the predictions, we have to talk about it, and the sake of the show.
Why?
Because JT is going to win it. I got JT, baby.
This old man coming back to the league to get wrongful stomped by the Bandit. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?
Oh man,
Ben Goddard. Ben Goddard is gonna all over JT. That's all I gotta say.
All right, Chris, what you got?
Oh damn it. So it's no stranger that I've been. I'm like, is JTE gonna be the guy like how he used to be, right? And I don't want to sound hypocritical because
you're going to be.
I know the game has changed a lot since JT played regularly, and now with what the exchange has been doing, at the same time, Ben Goddard, I was riding with my man to win Rookie of the Year. I think he should have been in the singles tournament. I think he was having such a great year. We're heels, and. Who knows if we'll keep the same energy for that. Ben Goddard, I think he can be one of the better multi-division players if he brings the heat on a more consistent basis. Granted, I think the team he was with last year didn't have they weren't paired the best. Damn it. I think the winner of this match will definitely celebrate with their faction the way they should. I think the winner of this match breathes oxygen like the rest of us.
Just pick your damn competitor, you bum.
I think the winner of this match is definitely a white dude.
Stop being so diplomatic.
So then it's JTE.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true.
That's JTE. That's JTE. Oh no,
because Ben Goddard's Mexican, so
I think. Well, Ben's not just Mexican. Like it's like how
he's half. He's French and Mexican.
Right. So, and
but am I not a black man because I'm mixed?
Am I not? If I not? Am I
We're
not
not gonna get. We're not gonna get into that conversation.
How dare you try to shun my voice? The both of you being so disrespectful. What the hell are you on this? Both of you guys.
Because you're trying to buy your time. Just pick someone.
What I'm trying to say is that this match could go either way. It's gonna be really, really good.
Look, if he doesn't pick by the time I count down to 5, I'm just gonna take him off screen.
I think that this match is gonna be spectacular. You're not counting; those are numbers. Those are. I'm picking Josh. I'm picking Josh Tapia. Josh, formerly known as Josh the Engineer. I like to think that he's gonna play more like Roca. I mean, even if he plays like the top 3 guys at the Exchange. They all put up great matches this year. Just Craig lost out to a man that played a better match. So I'm going to pick JTE. Little Evil is back. The man formerly known and formerly Engineering. I don't know if he still does that or not. But I'm picking Josh. Goddard. I'm not be mad if Goddard wins. I kind of want Goddard to win, if I'm being frank. But for the sake of this, I'm going to pick Josh. I think he's going to be really good.
Are you being Frank Janis?
No, is that what Frankie Numbers does?
Yeah.
Like,
you said you're being Frank, so I'm asking you being Frank.
Oh, no, I've never met Frank. But that's I'm just, if I'm being Chris, I will pick Josh. Tiny Evil. My man's back. Jesse's like, I'm back.
Are we picking for our free for all?
Oh,
I was just about to say.
So are we picking a faction, or should we pick just to make it safe?
No,
we're picking players. You're picking a player and pick a player and MVP.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go because I did this already. On
if you can get the MVP right, you'll get 3 points in the standings. If you get the player right, you get 5.
Shouldn't we be able to? If you pick the right player in the finals, then you should get points for that.
Because the finals might be 3 players. So
oh my god,
you pick the MVP,
whatever,
and you pick the winner.
All right. Well, I picked on the Insight, Mr. Tim Sims show. Make sure to have me on there. I went with Adam Collins winning and Bateman being the MVP.
Oh, damn it, Chug.
I know. Why am I picking Bateman? I hate on him so much. Chris, but I just do it to irk Chris.
How dare you mention his name fully knowing how much you disrespect him? I rewatched our last argument on Show Me the Money a couple days ago, and it holds up. And in hindsight, I was really mad at you. I hope you know that.
we talked about it. You were actually very upset.
I was hot. But damn it. Who's going to win it? Matt, who you got?
No, Chris, it's you first.
What do you mean me first? Go ahead.
I went first last time. You went last time. You're going. It's you before me, buddy.
You're the worst. I hope you. I'm mad at you now. I hope you know that.
Don't buy your time.
Adam Collins is gonna win. MVP is who is most rounds. Is that what it is?
No, it's voted on by it's
a vote. Oh,
it's voted on by the judges. I think it could be most rounds. It could be most questions correct.
Frank Janis does not have a vote this year. I found that out. Just FYI.
I have Collins winning. I think oh my god, MVP. I want to pick someone like crazy, like someone that we're not expecting.
Pick Jesse Swift.
I don't know if Jesse's in it. Because Jesse. No, actually, don't tell me, Jesse.
He can't, even if he wanted to.
Right, even if he wanted to. Dang. The MVP of I don't want to pick Bateman. I would have picked Bateman if Suge didn't pick Bateman.
Pick Bateman. Why does it matter?
Okay, I'm picking Bateman. I'm picking Ben. I want. Or does Ben win the thing? No, man. I got. Yeah, I'm echoing Suge.
All right. So, my MVP, I'm picking Bateman because the dude, based off of when I was talking to Christian, Bateman claims to have figured out the free for all. So I'm picking Bateman as my MVP. However, my winner, I am gonna go with John Roca. I don't know why. I have a gut feeling. I got Roca as my winner.
Oh, and I mean Roca, that's another great one. Like there are a lot of good picks. Part of me wanted to pick Bibiani for MVP, because I mean he's the king of the free for all.
It should just be called the Bibiani Award at this point.
At this point, right? And Corey, I see your question, but there's a question we missed earlier that I definitely want to tackle as well in regards to Jay Washington and what we want to see him do as commish. I mean, what I will say to answer this question, Corey, just work in tandem with Grace and just learn from Grace, because Grace obviously knows how to run the schmoedown. She's doing such a great job of it. And I think Jay can learn a lot from being under the learning tree of Grace Hancock. So that's my my expectation of Jay Washington to be a great VP to Grace Hancock, 100%. What do you guys want to see out of Jay as commission?
I just want to see him announce some good tournaments, some solid tournaments.
I want to see more players of color get matches, more minorities get matches.
Just more. I mean, more. We need more color in the schmoedown, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general. Or even some more ladies. I would love that too.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I went to minorities, because women are a minority in this league.
Totally. So, yeah, Jay, just under the learning tree of our Madam President, just take all the knowledge you can from Grace. And to answer your second question, Corey, who do we want to see in the free for all? That's another good one. He would like to see Kevin Smith be a part of this thing. That'd be one hell of a surprise, wouldn't it?
We're all gonna choose Jesse Swift.
No, I'm choosing the Rager Rick Radis. I just want to see him come in and do the dance and.
Okay. How much time do I have? Radis, Harper, because you saw him earlier. For Betty, I want to see. I want to see Peggy. I want to see Jesse, because I see you in the chat. Jesse, I want to see Jesse. Lomas. We're just picking rookies.
You know what? You know, I would love to see Mark Ellis.
Mark,
the Schmoeminati.
Still, I'm not giving up on that hope. Mark Ellis that'd be one great surprise. Like he's calling it, and then he's like, "No, Christian," takes off his jacket, and then he has a baby carrot shirt. Like that'd be like him rocking some Van Halen. He just downs a chorus light. That'd be one hell of an entrance to compete again. And the best part, he could be like the veterans in the Royal Rumble for wrestling, but and he gets eliminated after one round. That'd be funny.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think we will see an FCL competitor at all?
Oh,
that would have been my second choice, like David Campbell or somebody like that. But I don't know if we will.
It would have to be someone we've seen already.
It can't. We won't be able to see because it's only faction people that are in the faction.
Oh,
we don't know that. We don't know that.
That's what I was told.
If there happen to be some scheduling changes, I would like it to be something from the FCL we've seen already. Just to be fair to the peeps in FCL, I don't want it to be someone who has to compete in FCL just make their debut in the schmoedown. I think it's kind of unfair. I'd be more than disgruntled if that was the case. Seeing someone like David, John Knight would be cool. I like this character. Harley would be really cool. Robert Adams. Either one of the folks related to the party, like that. I've seen some FCL competitors would be fun. Who else I want to see in this thing? McWeeny, Riley, Clark Wolf. There's so many people. Oh, Andrew Guy.
He wouldn't do that.
Right,
even brainwashed guy wouldn't do that.
I want more Andrew Guy. Like I'm sorry, and again we mentioned that cutscene earlier. Again, I just want more Andrew Guy. Jeez.
Last pick. Come on, last pick.
Kalinowski.
Okay. Shug, your last pick.
I said mine. David Campbell.
I'll take his. Chance Ellison.
Chris, stop,
Chris.
Mute him.
You want to take like 5 minutes to pick to pick a winner, and then you want to just throw
James
in
White.
All right, everyone. Shug, thank you for a wonderful show, man. Thank you for a wonderful show. Guys, just a reminder, we will be back on Saturday for the free-for-all. For your free-for-all after show. Be back Saturday. excited. Can't wait to talk about this. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But also, as you saw the little bit of preview for next Monday, we got some special guests. We're going to be talking free for all for a little bit, not as much because we are doing it the actual on Saturday. But we got Robert Parker and Adam Collins coming on. So I know Chris is a happy boy, and you can't see the smile on his face because he's still mad that I listened to Suge and dropped him.
Aside from the two men on screen right now, I cannot wait to share the screen with those two men on the graphic next week. I like them more than I like these two guys here. Adam Collins, I hitched my wagon to his bandwagon a long time ago, and I mean it's cool having
you be hitching your wagon to Dogecoin right now.
Sure, what a topical reference. I love Adam Collins and Robert Parker. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to either one of these guys. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what both these men are capable of doing. And Collins' revenge tour and Parker's revenge tour too. I'm so eager to talk to these guys. And next week's gonna be a fun show. So I'm looking forward to that. And I cannot wait to not talk to Suge and Matt until that show next week. So it's gonna be great.
You're talking to me tomorrow. Well, you're talking to me tomorrow. So
no, we're canceling that. That's canceled forever now.
Cool. Nope. Thank you. Now I can play some Apex. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you for everyone in the chat for a wonderful show. Thank you for Thomas Harper for coming on. It was a great show. Love doing all this. We'll see you on Saturday for a special episode of Spin from the Reel. But until then, remember, folks, always spin from the reel, not the peg.